Hello everyone, welcome back to the dig site that is Fossils and Things. And today we're going to continue playing Shelter 2, part of the mini indie series that I'm producing, recording, putting together, giving it to you guys. You digest, you munch up this mini indie series in your mouth, you go num 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 num. You digest, you sit down, you're like, wow, I really enjoyed that mini indie series. I'm kind of bloated. But picking up from the last episode, we made sure the little cubby wubbies. See the little white one here? I've named him Snowy, and he was getting very, very lazy. I'm gonna call it lazy. He was kind of starving and just playing up, and he wasn't really moving that much. So we've sorted that one out. We've made sure that he's all okay. He's all okay. There we are. So what we're actually going to do for the night, we're going to... So M. If you press M, it's going to bring up the little map. You can see more expansive. You've got the hills to the top that we explored by the little waterfall. I wanted to call it a fountain, but it's not. We obviously got the waterfall at the top, and obviously we got the kind of fieldy areas and the broken trees areas down by the bottom. So we're going to go up towards the shelter. Hope these guys aren't moaning. Come on, cubby wubbies, don't be moaning yet. Oh, this guy's hungry, it seems. Oh no, he's cold. Oh, he's frightened. You need to come with your brothers and sisters. You can't just stay here. Here we are. I think it's just cold. I think when it starts getting dark, it gets really cold, and some of them like to play up as well. So they're just like, "Mom, I want you to carry me all the way." And Inna's just like, "Oh, come on, like, you know, you guys are big. You're like two days old or something, or 2 hours." There we are. So we're gonna stay in the shelter. We're gonna obviously, when the darkness passes, this old goopy goop. I'm saying goopy goop in the Resident Evil playthrough, but obviously once all this horrible landscape moves out of the way, we can go grab some more food, have a drink, and then hopefully actually we haven't explored all the broken trees area. We're gonna go down there. This is quite close, and there's lots of eggs down there for lots of protein for us to digest, put into our bellies, let it be converted into energy, so we can continue, and these guys can continue growing. I don't know if it is just my eyes playing with me, but I swear these guys are bigger. I hope to God that they are bigger, because, you know, I've been working my ass off getting, you know, these guys some food, getting their not gerbils, getting them the moles, getting them the rabbits, getting them the eggs, getting them the frogs, taking them to the ponds and rivers where they can drink. These guys, they better, you know, whenever I go into retirement, I'm on, obviously, my retirement fund. I bet these guys better look after me and get me my rabbits so I can feast upon them. But when we go down to the broken trees, we can actually feast upon the deers as well, which would be very beneficial. So the darkness has kind of disappeared now. The sun should come back. So the sun has got his hat on. Hip 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 hooray. The sun has got his hat on. Now he's taking us today. Yeah, I won't do that ever again, don't worry. You guys are like, can you never sing again? Because that was the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. Let's be on the prowl. I'm gonna eat ya. I'm gonna eat ya. I'm gonna eat you, all of you. I'm gonna digest you. I'm gonna put you in my belly. Come on. Come on. Let's not mess around. Now, I don't know if the rain necessarily affects the cubby wubbies. So a little Snowy, come on. I think it will. I think it will. It will cause them to be cold. So what we're going to do is catch one more rabbit. We're going to catch this one. Make sure these two guys in the front get fed. And then we're going to go back to the shelter. Make sure we've actually got some warmth. And we got some shelter. We got some over our heads. So 2 guys at the front. And fed. Here we are. Yeah, so munch up on this. Actually, we'll catch this last one as well, just to make sure that everyone's been fed. It's weird, like, even though this is just a game, like, kind of like, the responsibility you just adapt and you gain from, you know, this game. You know, it's just a video game, you know. The developers put this together, and, you know, it's a simple concept, and, you know, it's hard to master, but it's very easy to get to know of. But you really get involved. You kind of make a connection. It's really weird. I mean, I'm not necessarily like, these guys have to survive, but, you know, I'm making sure that they get their even distribution of the food, and that no one gets left out. It's really bad. So let's stay in the shelter here, wait for the rain to pass. No, little Snowy, you little cubby wubby, you gotta stay in here. Gotta make sure you guys don't get too cold and too wet, and you end up shivering and you get frozen, you know, in place, which is highly unlikely. But you never know in this day and age. You know, we can easily move towards the frozen landscape and just obviously end up with some icicles that were once my cubby wubbies. Now, the weather effects are very interesting as well. Obviously the lighting's going to change. Now, nothing kind of really physical happens with the... I would have thought a kind of nice little addition that obviously... It'll take a bit of programming, but obviously with the developers, you know, when it starts raining, obviously some parts of the fields become saturated and it becomes really boggy, and it's hard to traverse them and to get through. And when it's torrential rain, like you can see at the moment, that would be very interesting. I'm not too sure if that's actually in the game, but if it is, you know, I'd like to find that. But if it isn't, I think that'd be a nice addition for Shelter 3. And bringing on to that, I'd like to bring up a little point here. That obviously, Shelter 3, I think, it's been very interesting that Shelter 1 has been some badgers, it's been kind of a mammal. You got here in obviously Shelter 2, you've got obviously a more semi-domesticated animal, so a big cat, a lynx, looking after her little cubby wubbies. But number 3, I think, would be very interesting, is kind of being a kind of a flying animal, so something like a bird, you know, a bird of prey, a hawk, a bald eagle, something like that. It's kind of got, you know, you wait for your eggs to hatch and you take them, and you got to be really slow, make sure that they can fly, and then you obviously swoop down, grab some worms and munch on them when you get back. Well, you digest them yourself and feed them to them. So you put them in your mouth, you're like, nom 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 nom. You just spit them in the mouth, you're like, pooh. Eat those, get loads of nutrients from that. I think that would be very interesting as well. And one really, obviously, common thing within, obviously, the, you know, any kind of, you know, family in nature, that you're going to groom each other. You know, chimpanzees do that, birds do that, they pluck each other's feathers and make sure they're all nice and neat, and cats do that, they'll continuously lick each other and make sure, you know, they're clean and, I wouldn't say presentable, but at least, you know, they're good to go, they're not full of mites and ticks. As I said before in the previous episode, we've got a cat that's pretty feral, and she often likes to obviously, you know, spend times in bushes, and she ends up getting ticks like everywhere on her. It's horrible, you know, horrible to see, but yeah, we whack some, obviously, some skin treatments, and, you know, kills the actual I was gonna say mites then, but no, obviously the ticks and everything that's been growing on her and feasting on her, because obviously they're parasites, they're feeding off her blood source. It's pretty disgusting. If you've ever had like if you ever woke up like in the middle of the night where you've obviously got like bed bugs over you, well, not bed bugs over you necessarily, but you've got the remnants of them, you got like little bites on you, you're like, ugh, this is so itchy, and you whack some cream on, it's really annoying. And, you know, unfortunately we don't get that treatment, we just whack some cream on. I mean, you're not going to get your mum and dad come in your room and just start picking at your skin and stuff, no. But if you do, I'm not going to accuse you, I'm not going to make you feel weird. No, that's not what we do in the fossil dig site, the fossil and things dig site. That's not what we do here. We make sure everyone's welcome. It's like, hey, would you like a pickaxe? We're looking at this new game. Let's mine this and find out some more information. But you can obviously tell I'm quite interested in my history. Hopefully we're going to play a few more history indie games as well. I know there's a few out there. It'd be very interesting to actually show you guys. And I know there's I'm planning on at some point actually making a series, kind of like the mini indie series, but actually is the retro run through. This is kind of a a prototype of the name. It's just a placeholder in the moment, where I'll play PS2 games I referenced in the Dragon Ball Z, the Dragon Ball Xenoverse playthrough. That obviously I played a lot of games when I was a kid with my brother, and if you guys are interested in that, I will deliver. I'll obviously record some games that I played when I was a kid, or some gems that I never got to play as a kid, and I always seen them in the game shops, as we used to go to as kids as well, me and my brother, and my dad as well. It's a little cheeky story actually. Hopefully most of you guys remember a game called Pokemon Snap. Now, I think I went to the dentist. I had like 2 teeth out, and as a present, my dad took me to a little independent game store. So nothing big like Tesco or Asda. If you're wondering, I live in the UK, so I'm going to name off these British stores. So Tesco and Asda, where you would get your games. It was a little independent store, which I loved. It's called Game Scene, if you've ever heard of it. And we went in there, and what was very interesting was that they had early games that were kind of like shipped in that were not region locked, so from the USA, and there was Pokemon Snap. Pokemon Snap was available, and I wanted to have it, but my mum didn't tell my dad that she already brought the game. She already got it, and she was waiting for my birthday. This was around November. My birthday was coming around the corner, and she would tell my dad that obviously we couldn't have this. I wasn't allowed this game, and I was very cheeky. I knew this. My mum told my dad that, and I kind of just said to my dad, "Oh, I really like Pokemon Snap," and I think he just forgot, and he ended up just oh, it's starting to get cold here. None of the Cubby Wubbies have been left behind, have they? No, they're all with us. Fantastic. But yeah, and I got in a bit of trouble for that. I was really cheeky. I was actually quite mischievous as a kid. But I got Pokemon Snap. My mum and dad got really annoyed, but I think they ended up taking it back. And yeah, obviously getting a refund from that purchase that they had. So I was a little cheeky kid, little mischievous little bugger. Mischievous little bugger. That's what I was. Look at those guys, they're moonwalking over here. So I'm going to feast upon this little rabbit here as well. Now is this little Cubby Wubby complaining because she's cold? Yeah. I think she's complaining because she's cold. Obviously these guys, they're not that big yet, so if I can pick them up. So not Snowy. I don't want to pick up Snowy yet. There we are. There we are. Let's get back to the shelter. These guys have been running about with me for a while now. Let's get back to the shelter. Sit down, relax. Oh, we'll go get some more food. We're gonna head towards the broken trees area. These guys are definitely getting bigger. The more we eat, and the more we kind of explore as well. That looks like a really uncomfortable position to be in your mother's mouth and, be dragged across the whole time. Just have your neck, dragged about. That must be really annoying as this little Cubby Wubby. We're gonna pop you in here. Come on, buddy. No, I don't think these guys have grown too much. They've definitely grown from the first time, but I think this guy might be just maybe fatigued. Maybe fatigued. Maybe needs some food. So he's gonna stay there, and I'm gonna hunt this one rabbit. maybe in the next shelter, I don't know if it's the case in this one, or it's not actually been implemented. I think a really good thing is if you hunt in one area, I think what a good thing would be is that, you know, if you continuously hunt in one area, to see the impact of that, to see, obviously, you know, if you hunt too much in one area, that's gonna obviously affect the whole wildlife and the whole life cycle of different species, and maybe that will, you know, end up being food being scarce in certain areas, so you have to move about and migrate, get to different areas. Excuse me, I did a little hiccup there, even though I've not been eating or drinking anything. Let me have a little sip of my water. And there we are. The little guitar sound, I believe that's progress. That's got to be progress. It definitely has been. And guys, you might notice that actually my voice ends up going sometimes, and it comes back. Now, don't worry, I haven't been drinking a whole liter of vodka, and that's all I do whenever I don't do filming. I do actually teach at my job. You know, I actually teach school groups. You know, the tricks of the trade and where I work. So it's a lot of talking and a lot of customer service, and you know, the tourism sector is full of it. So I'm continuously talking and doing these recordings that can take 1 to 2 hours as well. So I hope it doesn't become annoying. That's what I'm trying to aim at with you guys. I'm trying to make sure this isn't a distraction. But if you don't like it, unfortunately, that's my voice. You have to put up with that. And there is nothing I can do to change that. Maybe I can change my voice. Put in a voice changer or something. But there is nothing I can do, guys. Little 3-note chord there. Now, talking about acoustics, I used to be a little guitar player, little guitar enthusiast, being in a few bands back in my day. Not necessarily going anywhere, you know. I'd probably be doing that right now if I wasn't doing this. But it's always fun. The little gleam that's coming off the snow here is very interesting. Oh, what's this? Off the wall. It's a little collectible, I think. There we are. You can see that the eggs are becoming a bit scarce. Maybe that's just the design of what's going on. But this landscape, look at that. Look at the gleam, the design, the kind of the bushes, obviously, of the trees as well, kind of just floating and wandering from the wind that's being generated around them. It's very fascinating. It's like being in the real world. God. Okay, guys, we're going to move on to the next section here. It's going to be saving in the corner here. You're going to get this kind of like narrow view, and that's basically just meaning you're moving on to the next section here. And there we are. We're moving on. So there's Inna in the focus, the little cave drawings here. And I'm hoping that the Cubby Wubbies get a little bit bigger. They get a bigger size, and it becomes more obvious. It's not too obvious half the time. But don't worry, there is an end game. You don't think that you're continuously feeding them and that's it. They don't get any bigger. There is kind of an end game where obviously they get big enough, and I don't actually know. I don't know what happens to them when they get big enough. Do they stick with you? Do they go off and make their own families, and do you go end up doing those? I don't know, but we'll find out. We're going to complete this playthrough. You can see here, actually at the end, you can see this kind of the more frozen landscape that we were trying to reach. And here we are, we got the reach around. Don't worry, that's not a window. Don't perceive that as being disgusting, guys. Or you will have disgusting frames of mind, thoughts. But normally, see, this would actually just be a river, and obviously you'd have a lot of water here, and you'd be able to drink from here, but that's not the case. It's all been frozen over, so we can traverse over. The seasons have gotten cold enough so that we can do that. I hope at one point there isn't a break in the ice that you end up just falling through, and you're like, oh. It's kind of like, if you guys have ever played The Walking Dead Season 2, this kind of be a spoiler, so close your ears for maybe 30 seconds. But obviously one of the guys you're with ends up falling through, and it's kind of obvious. It's a perfect cliche. You can hear the kind of the cracks emerge, and you're just like, oh no. And it ends up, you know, your friend falling through, and it's really bad. It ends up him dying. Ends up dying. So the bad thing is, in the colder climates, food is very scarce. Scarcely scarce. Sounds the same. But we can actually get through. They're kind of moaning here because obviously, you know, it's very, very cold. But they can hydrate. They can come to this little river here. Or maybe not. You can't drink from the river here because you end up just falling in. And then it's going to spawn in somewhere. There we are. So food is extremely scarce here. Extremely scarce, and you can hear the little cubby wubbies moaning continuously. But then again, if you're continuously moving throughout the cold, you know, I wouldn't blame them, would you? I definitely wouldn't. Yo, they're like, Mom, it's cold out here. Come on, let's go. So let's move all the way around. Maybe there's a shelter on this side. I'm hoping that there is. You know, there's another big tree because, you know, running all the way back is going to be very tricky. Even Inna herself is getting pretty tired. Oh dear. Is there only one? Oh dear. This is not good. What we need to do is catch this one rabbit here. Yeah, they're all the way back there. They can't make it this far. Not at the moment. They need more food. So what I'm going to do is grab a rabbit with this guy. This guy's like crying. Snowy. Snowy's always crying. There we are, Snowy. Make sure you have some food. Come on, eat. Brought you some food. See if he'll have this little rabbit here, maybe. How about this one? Yeah, there we are. So Snowy's actually eating this one. I don't know why. Maybe that's the little glitch or something, or maybe Snowy's just being a little shit. Where are the other two? Ah, all the way back there. I feel really bad now. I left them all the way back there by themselves. I know I've seen one of the first or second episodes that they did actually end up dying, which is a very, very bad time. Where are they? Now they're here. Isn't good. There's no real food source. We're gonna have to take them back over to where the other little rabbits were. It's the only kind of food source that I know of, at least around here. There we are. So leave this guy here. We'll go pick up the other little cubby wubby. I wish there was kind of like a little wait command as well. You can kind of be like, Cubs, wait here. Kind of like Abe's Odyssey, or, you know, even in, you know. Oh, he's getting really loud now. No. Oh my god. One of our little cubby wubbies has died. I feel so bad. Oh my god. We're gonna have to take better care after the other ones. Guys, you've learned a lesson today. Don't be a bad mother. Don't be a bad mother like I've just showcased here. Come on, little guy. Let's go. Maybe I brought them too far. Yeah, they're obviously not ready for it yet. What I'm going to do, obviously he's too strong. We're going to obviously get these rabbits, make sure they're fed, and then we're going to start running back to the shelter. But I'm like the worst mother. Look at me, I'm like kicking myself here. Let one of my cubby wubbies die. Was it snowy? No, it wasn't snowy. There we are, he's feasting. Kinda wish they all feast as well. There we are. This guy's definitely bigger. Right. Are they gonna follow me? Of course they are. I felt like I should have given that cubby wubby a name. Let's call him Sparks. You know, he came into this world exactly like he left it, in a spark. And he will always be a spark in our hearts and our minds. And he shall never be forgotten. Reste in pace. So, we've traversed way too far. We need to get back to the shelter here. We need to continuously keep an eye on these guys. Make sure none of them fall behind. Obviously, if you leave them for too long, the kind of like warmth is why I think kind of like wears off. Ooh. Here we are. There's a little tutorial. We can jump. We can jump onto these guys. They're going to give a bigger food source for us to feast upon. It's been really nice and slow. Let's not try and scare them off too far. These guys are obviously going to be way faster than us. So let's grab the rabbit just here for now. But we've got 3. There's still 3 of us. This is nature. This is what happens in the real world. You do end up losing some. It's survival of the fittest. And I did my best. 4 is actually a really hard number to look after. Oh, and this guy is... It looks like he's given up as well. Come on, Snowy. You're just moaning now. I will feast upon their flesh. Damn, that rabbit got away. Cheeky little bastard. Now, I don't know if we pick up these sticks and stuff that, like, helps in a way. Like, it's kind of like XP. Maybe? I don't know. Keep following me, little guys. Little cubby wubbies. Nature changes, time passes, strength grows, and bone stretches. Living is hard. Very true. And obviously, you know, we learned a very vital lesson of living today. So when the sun goes down... I really do love the graphic for the sun, though. It's really animated. It's really well designed as well. It's got like loads of flares, different colors. It's got loads of yellows, loads of browns, loads of oranges. You can really feel my artistic sides coming out in this one. And there we are. The little cubby wubbies, they're a little bit bigger. So guys, we're going to wrap up the episode here. So the cubby wubbies are bigger, and we're going to continue the episode next time. You're going to be joining me in the next episode. Obviously, the dig site that is Fossils and Things, you're going to catch me there. Obviously, if you like this video, if you like this series, give it a like. Got any advice for me to not kill my children again, leave it in the comment section below, and I shall see you in the next episode. See you later, guys.